field day and some early duels on that Raze. Now swapping over to the Jet, I actually think that empowers him to do even more going into this series. There's a ton of questions.
Are you saying he's going to do more than getting 35 kills?
Listen,
I need
I'm
to
not
flash up
saying
straight
he
in
will.
the air.
I'm
Yeah, but
saying
it's
he
also
could.
like...
I'm saying he might. And there's a one way
the
to
only
find
place
out.
in my head
But
that
at
that's
the end of
good
the day,
for is
that
like
was a game
waterfall.
that went 20 to
Clear
18.
C. I still
So
think the question
35
mark
kills,
over
but if we average
towards
it out to
A
round,
No,
and
that was
B
the other one.
is going to be
But it was
pretty
a Koi
His one was
game.
14-12. That was
14,
yeah,
it was just the OT. Good goodness. All right. Well, the numbers certainly inflate a little bit in that case.
You want me to
Even
lower this
still,
slightly?
I think that this Jet,
I
we're
can
going to
put
see
it
a lot
like-
out of him in terms
we'll do
of going for
35.
those early duels. A lot more escapes possible.
We'll do 35
but
and
adding
then
in
mid-game
the
if
fact
it's
that we've
if it
got
needs to be
the
changed.
Gecko,
Let's
I mean,
change
I
it.
don't fully know that I've seen anybody play Gecko to an extent that I thought, yeah, I want to see him on every roster.
Yeah, I think on this map there's definite
XOZ?
opportunities. I think
XOZ's always,
especially bringing in that Viper. We actually saw some very cool ideas. Again, I'm going to use Na'Vi because there were so many rounds to sort of use them as an example. But they basically would set up those afterplants where they didn't actually have to push in, and it forced their opponents to basically go for counter plays. So it was like, okay, we have to send someone in to kill the wingman to stop him from just being able to get the plant. So I definitely think it can force your opponents into a different game plan. And you have to bear in mind as well that a lot of what Koi were winning off of was cheese. Like it was Starzo, I'm going to throw down a smoke, I'm going to TP into the smoke and get a triple kill. Like, can he do that again? And that was the main worry when we came into their last series that they played versus Vitality was Shados as good the next time around? Well, he wasn't, and they lost. So that's the thing that worries me a little bit. I think Giants will have come in here with a game plan, with an idea of how to beat their opponents.
Has he lost his
Koi
notes?
Last time around won because some of their
Oh my god, he's lost his
really
notes.
popped off. When they don't, this team
Could
is
you
fine.
imagine?
I think it's worth mentioning on the side of Giants as well, the vulnerability was definitely in those early rounds, consistently losing Rhyme, who was your Omen. You know, you're losing a lot of utility and a lot of abilities, but this time around playing the Breach, I expect him to be a lot less engaged in those early fights.
Huge role swaps. Like that's sort of the thing. I feel like recently they've started to realize that, okay, like for example, Nuke went over on Icebox, he started playing a Killjoy, I believe, and then it was Sage for Rhyme. It's like putting him in roles where maybe he is more supportive in different ways. So like for example on the Sage,
he's lost something. He's fully lost something.
From another perspective. Like even if he goes down, it doesn't matter. He has a singular role. In this case, it's going to be, okay, let me set up the plays. Let me use those stuns, those flashes, etc. to put them into positions rather than maybe like playing all of the smokes at once. Now that's gone over to Hoodie. So they've had major role changes. I know obviously that means we're focusing more on everything that's happening because they have changed nigh on everything in comparison to other maps, whereas Koi have changed nothing.
Well, that's the thing. Comfort is always going to be a big element in these games. And for Koi coming in, they know what they're playing. They know how they're playing it. For Giants, yes, this could be a surprise, something that Koi aren't ready for. At the same time, this is going to be their first time running this in an official. And we know that teams have come in, they've tried things in Prac, and I think KC is a great example. You have to imagine that things have been going a little better in Prac than they have in the officials for them. But sometimes when you step on that stage,
Netherlands, yeah,
and
it's
it
been
comes
good,
to
dude.
game time, that is when you get
really
hit in
good.
the face for the first time, and a lot of
Got a
players
good
can't
amount of
deal with
recording
that.
of content
Giants,
done.
They're showing us that they're willing to adapt.
Streaming
they're showing us
setup's
they're willing
nice.
to put the other team on the back foot, and I love that. But it can
Food's
go
been
wrong
good.
very quickly if you start to lose control. If the pacing of the rounds doesn't go as you expect, you know, Koi have those fundamentals to pivot off of, whereas Giants
I go to
might
Germany
be a
on the
little bit more
13th if
uncomfortable
can,
running this
so
new icon.
I think that is
what
the
day is it
danger
today?
right now with a lot of this
Today,
composition
6
is
days.
that you've got a lot of moving parts, a lot of variables, players playing different agents to what they've been playing over even the previous weeks, and I think for Giants it's definitely a risk, but it's clearly something that they think that's worth taking going into this map choice. And bear in mind as well, I believe it is their map choice. So it's one where
I'm there for
actually
the
gone in quite an
Fnatic
interesting
Liquid
direction,
game
with
cam.
Ascent coming up next, a map that they don't play. So this isn't for them, in their minds at least. I don't think this is a risk.
Streaming somewhere in the studio.
You're going into a map that it's not like you can take a gamble. Like as we've mentioned, Na'Vi playing some maps where they take risks because the next one they expect to win. The next one we've never seen Giants play. Not even going back to lock-in. They've never played it. So this is a composition that they've chosen to run in a must-win map.
Yeah, see what it was. I had it down November 2020.
Nah, not on the full
last
team.
time we actually saw that out of this roster.
It's a bit of a different team.
Yeah, quite a while
I think
ago.
Vitinho was still there.
Vitinho was. Yeah.
And no, that's it.
Yeah, we're out of it at that point. So, you know, not something that I think even he could come in and say, you know what, guys, I've got some ideas we can build off of. At the same time, I think seeing the map for the first time, having fresh eyes in officials with the composition you're running, it can make a big difference as well because you've got new ideas, you know, new brains taking a look at it. But one thing that's worth mentioning as well, like there's a lot of role switches here. Like as we already said, Nukia being one of the key ones. Like there's players on this, I think 3 different players, Rhyme, Starzo, and Nukia, who in the last 60 days, they've played 5 different agents. Nukia's now adding a 6th one onto that, and it's a very different look. Again, this guy's playing like your Breach, your Sage. He's played a Raze, a Killjoy. He's taken every single role, a KO, and now adding up the Viper as well. I love seeing that level of depth, Tom, because you and I were both around for a long time when it was just one trick every single role. If you saw
here we go. Getting into this one.
Once, it was something to write home about, but we're seeing a lot more fluidity.
Giants on defense, Koi on attack. We got
definitely makes things more interesting,
Ghosts and the Sheriff.
At the same time, it has its risks. And I think the Viper on this map, incredibly effective, especially for me.
So yeah, Koi on attack. Let's see how much they default around the map. Again, in theory,
we were about to.
Question marks. Okay. In theory, question marks are hard for them to clear, right? If you get someone out over towards here, it's very hard for them to clear this. Even if they do a dizzy in the air from any of these like positions here, like these heights. Dizzy in the air will be good here to clear this, for sure. In terms of over towards B, if you try and clear this with a Dizzy, you're going to lose the Dizzy.
Let's start it out by taking a look. Now, but the reality is, kicking this one off, first couple of
Papa's still looking? I didn't see it. Has he still not found them? He's still looking around.
How are you going to use this Gecko on defensive side? You know, a lot of his abilities,
incredible.
They can be used to claim some of that space, which there's so much of when it comes down to playing right here on Lotus.
Dude, imagine the other team found the notes.
Like pacing-wise, where do you think Koi are going to stand attack side up against Giants? Is this somewhere you sit back and wait to see what they do, allow them to make the mistakes like we've seen in some of the previous games where teams are content to run that clock all the way down? I get more of a sense.
Yeah, he put him in Pipson's room. Pipson just sits down and there's just all the anti-shot of his own team.
How the attack's going to work, because I'm kind of looking at what their composition enables them to do. And that's sort of the thing. It's like with Jet, you almost have to be a little bit proactive. Like you're looking to try and take some space. You don't want to sit back and play.
Found the K-Corp notes.
He's going to be bringing in the operator. Gecko.
K-Corp notes is just do the same as last week.
Like you can throw out the Dizzy. You can throw out the Wingman to sort of find that space. And then I have a feeling that's going to have to combine with.
At this point, I think K-Corp getting 5 duelists and running it down would be better.
So I have a feeling that a lot of this is going to come down to them trying to gain that control.
I think you have a good argument. Like honestly, I know you're trolling, but I don't genuinely think you have a good argument.
The A wall to try and take some space. I have a feeling that has to be part of the plan, because in terms of just holding off the back of a lot of the agents they have, do I think not being proactive with a Gecko on defense works? No. Like, there's not enough stopping power in that utility to really do anything with it. Even when you talk about the ult, a lot of that's purely been used for information so far from teams. So I think that's going to be the main thing is, okay, before they were able to basically use Sova utility, basically they still had the Breach, and then they also had a Raze where they...
You know, a team messed up when I'm trolling them. It's like, dude, it's really... I tried so hard. Like, especially in this game, I tried so hard, and I'll always... I never like being biased. I'll always try and even it out. I don't like. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. But like, man, some of the stuff we're seeing, like I can't keep. I can't just keep finding excuses for them.
He's not in that position where I look at him and go, okay, he is one of the best like Killjoy players we have in the entire region. No, he's a fantastic duelist. He's decent at the role, but if you're
you're on a huge losing streak in ranks, mate, just take a break. Please take a break. Give yourself a day off. Come back, you'll win that first game. I did try, you're right, I did try, and then the first, mate, it wasn't even the first gun round, it was the first pistol. I still can't get over that pistol. Oh my goodness.
A lot of freedom starting on the defensive side as well, which could be fantastic to see those early fights. Now, when I look at Koi, they didn't have the same kind of success that Giants were having. They weren't able to take the same amount of space successfully with their opening duels. Trex, on the attack side, this guy was going down almost every single time. I think he went down
here we go.
12 of the rounds on attack.
4-1. Same thing, we're back in 30 seconds this time, so we've got a little bit of time to wait.
He was going down, and it had to be someone like Starzo, someone like Shados to come in and take those trades and convert the space. They're able to do that.
Nice,
It was interesting to look at the fact that Trex,
Zenio, we'll get that to Immortal this time next year.
To still claim it afterwards, whereas Fatino was just reliable at point him in a direction. He'll get you the site himself.
Already. I don't want to jinx it.
Okay, we're live.
So we are now live.
Yeah, damn. We're live. We have a punish set up in terms of this. Are you gonna contact flash, but then do you omen flash and they swing, or do we just swing?
Not the easiest of exits, but you've got Paranoia available for Hoodie. He's just brawling. Got a little bit of support from Brian, who can delay, and they've got a fairly free opener, and there is that aggression. Wolfen is so ridiculously blind, but you know what? He still gets a
nice
kill.
aggression from them. And maybe this is how they're just gonna play this comp, because they can't really clear question marks, so going aggro a lot makes a lot of sense. Giants, when we watched it last time at lock-in, I remember being super impressed because they had insane retakes. So I'm expecting them to be pretty drilled on this map.
Question is, they're drifting back. Are they going to end up running into him? Nukia, this fight could be everything. If he can get one,
Alive is a beast.
Massive amounts of space for this attacking side to reclaim.
He has a lot
they
of
can
potential.
bring it anywhere, and that stack from Giants can't be held anymore. Not with confidence, at least.
But that's the thing, just turtling up from Koi has actually set themselves up wonderfully. Vitinho gonna get the information, goes back for more off the back of the dash, but they're still gonna be able to garner
We talked about their
control.
retake, and we might have to see it early.
Really within range of doing anything more. Paranoia isn't gonna connect onto him, and they go to check the back lines.
Huge shot. That is actually huge. That's the round there in theory. It's not fully done, but that was massive. And they almost lined up. Had to go into the...
A headshot through the box, one in the head to Trex.
Oh my goodness. Oh god. Okay. Nicely done from Hoodie. Did a lot of work. Well,
yeah, it was sort of a back and forth one. Like you kind of see what I mean.
I said that was the important kill. That was my bad again. I messed up, I guess.
Giants roster with the
Nicely done from Hoodie.
Even just using the Dizzy to get both information and a free kill early. But then it almost just seemed to fall apart a little bit. Like Nuka going aggressive to try and almost pincer them in. I understand it. You're playing a map with 3 sites. You need to take some control, but it almost cost them just because Koi sort of slowed down. And that is something I want to see from Koi. Like, even if you lose some of those earlier fights, lose a bit of map control.
Yeah, you hit some shots.
Just gathering up, you're going to expect your opponents to still try and fight.
Well, he got it in the end, putting Giants up 1-0 as we move into round 2.
Well,
take a look at
the retake, I guess, was good. It wasn't like util, it was more just shots, but it was nice. Okay, interesting, just heavy denial of A. I mean, they can do that. They can even add an omen flash into this to secure it every single round, so we'll keep an eye in terms of what they want to be doing over towards A. They go aggro, they leave one person here, rotate across the map. Interesting wall from them.
Just push deep off the back of the early util.
Good farm if he wants to.
He's looking to just almost play on his own.
Plays a super safe question mark though created, so that in theory, the longer Koi wait and don't do peaks like that, the more the rotations will have to come in.
A good start in this round for Giants. And as you mentioned, on one side, Koi are looking to try and do as much damage as they can. On the other side, Giants don't even really want to lose a player. I guess at best, they lose Vitinho.
Well, they're doing well so far to avoid dropping any of those weapons to the floor. I mean, Giants, only a scratch on Nukia, and other than that, sitting pretty. Ranged fights being kept to all around. No real map control lost. The only real danger is probably
I like Jet on this map. I've still not decided what duelist I prefer on this map yet.
With all of the range that's left open there.
Oh my.
Shot. Okay, so that's the first, and that's a Bulldog down. Look at where the Marshal is. Vitinho's on A. That Bulldog's not getting saved. Not if they go down quickly. And there's still a chance to do that a little bit more as they creep around water. Players spotted, second on the way. Paranoia's actually caught Rhyme. Not ideal. Not ideal at all, but at least they don't lose anybody
nicely done from them. Only one death, so the bonus is going to be pretty good. They got 3 Bulldogs for this one. Important round for Koi. Again, if they lose this, they cannot buy next. So let's see what the Bulldogs can do, and let's see what Nuka decides to buy. Maybe just a Sheriff or something. Maybe a Ghost picked up. Oh, Rhyme. Being a selfless IGL, drops Nukia the gun and gives the Sheriff for himself.
I think fighting for some early map control is going to be important. Just making sure they don't get sort of crushed inwards towards their spawn.
So the bonus isn't too bad. It's not great. We've got a Marshal, we've got a Sheriff, but it's
on this side for Koi, early aggression might be a feature. You want to take some of those.
Yeah, it's nice to see IGLs that do that. The obvious ones that stand out are like Vanity, Boaster. They're the 2 that will like religiously always take the worst gun. Rawby, thank you so much, mate. Thanks for saying that as well, dude. Appreciate you. Thanks for using your Prime on me, mate. 5 months. Thank you.
But the important thing is they were denying all the space.
That looked mad,
there was
that
no
peak.
way that these players could push up and get
Damn,
into nasty
really
corners. And now they're doing well to really avoid any
Kinda
damage coming out
did
of
not
that
get
Marshal.
punished
I'm
for
still surprised
as many
gets
peaks as he
3
had.
bites of the cherry there. Most of the time you get one opportunity and then
It's interesting. They molly here to get out over towards the site. Boombot goes in. That's a nice boombot.
Still a little bit of utility to play with. They are getting
it's a nice
up
nade.
all over the shot. So much information.
That was a nice. This was nice. Their little A hit here was cool. The boombot was good. The util was good. I like that.
Even again, it just comes down to
a plant for tree. See how many people go over towards her.
Can you hold on to the gun?
Giants on another retake. They do have all the people with the rifles alive. So
risky play to say the least. Man advantage to work with. There goes the shock dart. Came close. But yeah, man advantage, and I like the idea of taking some extra space, you know? Again, turtling on the site like this, if you did. Oh, that flash got him! Just about. Trex has been dealt with. That's a little bit awkward on the way back through. Good
that was a
start
nice
from
flash.
him.
Oh my
boy,
goodness.
he still gets
Oh
away with it.
boy.
There is absolutely
Oh
no way
god,
the Giants
that
should
went
have
wrong
won
so
He was
fast.
blind for
Giants
so
still
long. Correct me if
prepped
I'm
their
wrong, the
retake
player
for
shooting was
sure.
not blind, right?
How has
I didn't
Shados
see
not got
anything
that
on
kill?
that.
He is
Looked like
gonna
he could see plain as
be
day.
I'm not gonna lie.
kicking himself.
I think whoever that was, I'm pretty sure it was Shados.
Yeah.
I think he was playing for KC in the last game.
Yeah. Oh, don't give us a replay of that. That's a great flash.
Yeah, it was a nice retake though. Again, Giants had a good retake when we saw them last time playing
That
this.
was good.
That wasn't fully down to the util
You just said you didn't want to see it.
Yeah, but now that I haven't seen it, I
What an
kinda wanna
evil
see it,
laugh.
'cause
Yeah,
I
mean,
don't think he
I
was
get
blind,
it.
and I hope he was. God, that was awkward.
Dude,
God,
that was
Giants
such an
getting over
evil
the
laugh. That was
turnaround
incredible.
There, man. Like, they've kept, look at their economy. It's going to be sitting pretty even with an operator
Okay,
invested
because
into
they are
All Star
going
to
for
come
light
online
armor
pretty
buys,
soon
they
over
can
on
buy into
Koi,
this
at
one,
least
so
a
it's not as
saving
detrimental
grace,
as the
but
normal
they
buys.
have to
Obviously,
get
you'd have
this
to
done
eco
here
after
and
this
now.
one. They got the
Patino,
plant
like I said,
on top of it.
aggression on
Damn,
defense, the
nice
escape
flash
method
and
of the dash.
nice A
Well, he
take.
is just having
Oh,
a
they look
field
good
day
on
in
this,
this
man.
round here. Koi putting all their credits on the
Oh,
line.
that
and,
miss is going to
well,
haunt them.
doesn't seem to have got them very much. That spike is even down in the open, being held by Patino with another dash online. And Trex is lucky to survive that.
Yeah, he's even just going to swing out in the end.
So we've seen quite a lot of nice stuff from Giants that they've prepped. Right, they prepped early A. Okay, they prepped early A for when they come out and they want to put someone over here. And then what we just saw here is where they let them out and they punish them. So we've seen an early A to take control, then we've seen a punish over towards A. We've seen pretty good retakes over towards A as well. In terms of this side of the map, Giants have a lot planned. It's pretty cool.
Having a stun most of the time as well.
Yeah, they look great on this map on lock-in. That was the crazy NRG game, right? Where over towards C we just had clutches. We had Som's clutch, we had FNS's clutch.
Yeah,
it was a good game. It was a fun game to watch.
Obviously winning an absurd round in number 3, but that one was just clean.
It really was. Yeah, number 2 could be. You could argue.
Yeah,
it's
look
like,
at this.
Oh,
with the damage, I thought it was a flash. They damage the corner, and then you just have a whole line where they have to get out of. Oh, that's nice. The timing on this felt pretty good as well. Like they commit to one side, and then if you commit to the wrong side, that's really cool. First time you see that, that's gonna work.
Oh, holding a shot. Fatino
nice
with the
as well, Fatino. Oh boy.
That peak a little wider than was expected,
They're
I suppose.
all over them. We go down, see the eco, so it's not too bad for Koi in terms of this one, but they need to do some damage. Money's getting really good. Hoodie's on 6-6.
His whole idea
in terms of ults, they're planning ahead for the next round. Wolfen's going to have ult, Shados is going to have ult, Trex is going to have ult with that, and Starkso as well. So we're going to see at least 4 ults online. I don't know where Codiment is at, but
where he's up, he's getting in a fight.
I'd imagine he's close.
Super passive on A site. Again, just looking to get 1 kill and then have his teammates come to support. The one and dones are unreal. As long as you're not done for the round, you know he's done with that position. Falls
yeah,
back,
Giants looking really good at the moment. Lewis is looking right. Oh, there you are, Lewis as well. Nice timing on that.
Never peek an angle for free.
You came in with the told you. I was about to say it. I was about to say it, Lewis. You're not wrong. They're looking good.
He's just going to spam utility to
try and nice timing on that.
A bit tougher for them. Space taken by Starzo, but he's been spotted as well. So all the info is there at this point. And although Koi are making it a little bit costly, Cloud
strong. Not too bad.
The remainder.
Armor rebuy, 2 guns, but again, money, 3,000 for all of these, managed to keep it up. It's an insane start. Okay, chat, we got 8 ults. We've got 8 ults up, and we've got 2 people that are 1 away. It's gonna be manic.
Into places I can't really retrieve it, but just in a way of like, okay, this will get me information, like a proper initiator. Not how do we play off of this.
Remember the Starkso clutch? I mean, it was crazy. But I think this is looking good for Giants. There was a lot of individual plays in that Lotus that we saw. And it's looking like that's what Giants saw as well. They have a good Lotus, and they kind of looked at the map and said, a lot of individual plays for them to win this, and they feel like they can take it.
Yeah.
Throwing out your ability.
Same as a Sky Flash.
Exactly, but with the Sky Flash, you don't get to go over and recover it, right?
That's
in this
true.
case, you kind of want to. At least there's going to be more of a lean towards, now let's go capitalize on it. It could be something to read on the other side as the meta develops with Gecko. I think Pipson is smacking the desk there a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit of shaking
Why is he shaking the desk?
Yeah, look, you know, the man doesn't stray short of perfection. All right, he's still upset.
I'm blocking Barbar Cam. Dude, he's too far back. He was pretty relaxed though, chat. Take my word for it. He was pretty relaxed. Like in terms of like 1 to 10 of spitting, 10 being a rap god, it was like a 6.
Both Na'Vi and Fnatic in the same week.
Not easy opening game.
Like there was talking, but it wasn't too much.
Something's wrong with you.
I saw some people saying they're one of the teams that need to make roster changes. Like, good God, give them a break. You know, two of the toughest teams already out of the way. See how the rest of the season goes.
This one's going to be mad. It's going to be so crazy. We see attack smoke with a recon that I guess landed. I don't know where that recon landed. I guess low.
Here we go again. Like we
okay, good amount of info. Are we going back with this one? No, we are not. So in theory, that is not getting collected. We'll see.
Look at where Cloud is going.
Got a lot of good information with this though. So maybe if this happens, they could just go out and get it. Yeah, dude, they managed. Look at them. Look how much freedom they've got.
Koi almost have to pick up the pace a little bit here. Starzo getting one.
Trade out. Coutinho's done well, and they're just so confident. We actually saw the same thing from them in terms of against NRG, by the way, right? Just all the time, just going aggro into these places and just making sure they retake A.
But look how much is available, and I think they've retrieved the Thrash.
Shados has ult.
They have indeed. As we said, you know, seizing that space after using the utility, they double pushed up C long. Now Thrash is going to be there.
Nuka has smoke to cover this as well.
Sight is good.
Yeah, they just cleared everything. We got a smoke to cover Spike.
Like the last turn of battleships. It's time to get on the Spike. The Rolling Thunder should push them off. Will it allow them to survive? Yeah, okay, they've managed to sneak around and leave it in.
Nuka did great. Nice flash coming in. Nice dizzy. Damn, they look really in control at the moment. This is good. How many ults did we see from
Giants as they are now. And Koi
their Fish got a lot, right? Fish cleared out all of this, then Fish cleared out all the A site. They got a lot from it in this round. Coutinho did great. Yeah, that's crazy. And then jumps over it. It's like a movie.
Spins on a dime and takes another. Unreasonable display of skill here.
That's the thing. If this was SSX tricky, he would have got the most style points.
Oh yeah. He's popping his ult or whatever. I don't know. When you
1, 2, 3 ults used. They didn't get the round. 3 ults down, and we go over towards Giants. They only use 1 into that. Mate, surely not. This is dominant at the moment. They look great. Nice easy lineup. Jump with that one. Recon goes in.
It basically
smoke just to check that no one's in front of it. Okay, this is nice still. Take some map control. Over towards C. Sorry, over towards A. They haven't really done much.
Okay, what are Giants doing this round? Is there anything we can do to shut that down?
Well, I mean, good info denial to start with a one-way smoke put up on C. Stops any sort of a peek from Coutinho. You saw him even try to peek around it, but between that and the mount,
Sova on this map, I definitely prefer some others, but the stuff that I've seen from some Sovas are pretty good.
At least 3 of these rounds so far, there's been early flanks from C. What? They popped the Viper's Pit, no info, blind fired it to allow a rotation.
I think that's so fine. So fine to pop that ult here.
B site under a bit of threat. Under serious threat. There goes the peek, and Hoodie ends up being the one to take that kill. Rolling Thunder used up on A. In goes Wingman, just hunting them down. And Mosh Pit got a kill. They were Rolling Thunder. They were stuck on it, and that's the spike down on the floor. And then you end up Starzo grabbing a kill, but for what? They've still got to retrieve that spike. They're so far behind in this round right now. That's
oh my goodness. It's 21 HP with that. They cannot catch a break.
1v4, and that Viper's Pit is still up on C. I don't even think he knows that yet, and he's on his way there. He's saving. Yeah, to be fair, right call, but if he did go to C, he was going to
they might have to do another timeout.
15 seconds, he's got to be saved.
Yeah, I love Sky on this map. I'm pretty much on the Sky train for every map apart from Ascent and I guess Icebox, but I think if you're doing the loud comp, obviously Sky looks great. Haven, actually, Haven as well.
missed the boat a little bit. But after not really spotting any information there, that's when they're rolling Thunder. Because they go, okay, there's only so many places they can be cleared.
There's only, I mean, they can squeeze out a buy.
So it has to be A now. And then they're just rolling Thunder and get themselves a load of kills. Like, that's all the Giants are really having to do. And I think a lot of this now comes down to Koi need to challenge for map control. They need to take something away. Because if you're allowing them to get information on 2 points of the map, well, you're in the third. They've worked out where you are. You need to fight for something, otherwise it just becomes far too easy for them. This slow pace is biting them.
Thoughts on Icebox? I'm happy. I'm so fine with it being Icebox. I think it's the worst map in the game. Get it out of here. Let's have some big changes. I agree with some people. It was getting a little bit interesting with some of the Harbour Sky comps, but in terms of the map and fundamentally and how it is an A site, just get it out of here. I'm so happy with it to be gone.
They're not taking control B, they're not taking control A, they must be slow shifting up C.
Really hoping they change it heavy. Really hoping they change it quite heavy, to be honest.
I wonder if they go for a peek, but they've heard tracks now. They know he's close. Paranoia is perfect. They're all
oh, Jesus.
Nobody can see a thing, but it's returned on him. Still one kill for Giants.
The timing of it is just so perfect. Oh, comes in. Sucks to come in this.
The chaos, and that he has. Putting it down, at least one more man on the ground. Bladestorm popped around of
he has no vision with that ult.
3 versus 2
yeah,
now.
Nice use of the double ult into this. Okay, they have to secure this round, and the worry is it's low H. There's low HP on 2.
Eventually will be Cloud. He's managed to bypass everything.
Hey, that's cool.
Low players over on that Koi side as well.
I'm surprised that's the first time I've seen that.
And he's going to get the information. That's at least something to play with. A prediction as well from Nuke that somebody's going to be close. It's whether he can find them.
They know exactly where he is at this point.
Just
doubled up in the smoke. Beautiful play. 30
they got him low as well.
Cloud. It's got to be impossible. And Nano on the side as well. Insult to injury.
Should be impossible, but
the operator pulled out. Desperation
low
playing, and he tried to remove the util, but too little, too late. In goes the wingman. He's going to start it off at least, but there you go. Taken down. Another Nano that was waiting for him, and that should do it. The time here so tight.
Yeah, no time.
Even with the final kill,
okay.
It's not enough.
Killed all of them though.
It's still a bit worrying that Cloud's just managed to eliminate all of the players.
Yeah, to kill them, so they all have to rebuy. Their money's not good. 3,000 top this, most of them sitting around 3-3.
Bait everybody back in, especially when you're up against the Gecko.
Still a good round for Giants though. Nicely done from Koi to get it 2 ults into that though. Like it's not, didn't look convincing. And this flash, it felt like they could have got more for it.
On the other side, has it done any damage to the economy of Giants?
It's a good reactive Omen flash on the way back though. Why haven't we seen more Chamber on Lotus? Killjoy is very good at just heavy shutdown, right? Killjoy is obviously insanely good at heavy shutdown with like util. Like the mollies are great, so it's definitely really good over towards here and here. Again, I think Chamber's good on this map, but people just think he's fully dead. Don't like Cypher on this map, I think it's awful. I think everyone should have... I think all the people that are trying Cypher are crazy to try Cypher over
That's about as good a start as you could hope for on Koi.
I've seen 2 good setups. I've seen a good setup over towards A, where you connect the, where you have all of the kill trips here, and you have the this was nice, and you have all of the and you have like the camera and stuff here. And then I've seen the nice setup with the double one-ways here.
The last 3 guys are all 3 that were tagged up as well. They're so low from the early fight, from the aftershock.
So yeah, I don't like it. It's 2 good setups.
Confident UK's playing. Just out wide! Just takes 2 down immediately.
As well. Dude, this is gonna be dominant. Oh no, chat. I said we're gonna see overtimes and it's gonna smash them.
Look, he doesn't even have the spike. It's dropped
it's disgusting though. Chat, like they get 1-9 loss bonus on top of this. They have literally no money. Like look how far down they are. So we go to 8-1. Their money's the worst it could possibly be.
And he's got 20 seconds. Like I think Giants are going to be closing in that net, and there it is, 10 HP.
Yeah, I think the Cypher's better on attack than it is on defense on this map, to be honest with you. I just don't like it on defense, I think it's useless.
Right now, and well, you might have had questions about this composition on the attack side, Tom, but when it comes to 8-1 on the board, hell, unless Koi put the foot down right here and now, I don't care what comp they're running. You take their abilities off them.
Oh, the flash.
Because he was flashed.
The flash and he ran forwards. Damn, the util here was insane.
That's ridiculous. He was the only player who wasn't in it and got caught by a flash. Oh, that's just...
And of course, flash hits, you think they're about to swing. In this corner.
God.
I didn't see anything.
Giants look so drilled on this map. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's so unlucky. And for it to happen then as well at this scoreline.
You finally get around, and then you lose to...
Barely get around.
You lose to an aftershock.
You barely get around.
They get one orb over towards tracks. So they're just planning again ahead for the next round.
That might be some of the most damage we've ever seen from an aftershock.
I think it might be.
Especially recently.
What are these games today? Yeah, this one's dominant. I don't know. It's still not done. Maybe we're going for the Kokum again. Dude, it happens to him again. He gets a double again like this, this lineup.
He will fall eventually, but there's support. There's 2 players here ready to back him up. The rifle isn't retrievable, and they've got no space across the map. No gaps that can be exploited.
Is in that sort of mode.
Do you think the loss bonuses should be adjusted?
Because the way he's playing his Viper,
no, I think it's fine.
If you watch this from the beginning of the game, I wouldn't be particularly happy with it because it's very, very aggressive. Just basically playing an off angle every single time.
Damn, Util here was great. The flash as well. They came in that could provide him if they were out earlier.
Let's just keep taking these fights.
Giants look so good.
Destroying them in these rounds. And that's the thing. He's basically playing for a kill, and he's not even going to get it. Like, look at where the spike was. The round was already over.
Just, like, really think about the gaps that were there. You had a guy at the single door. He sprays the door. He crumbles the door.
Yeah, I like the neon on this map. It's not too bad. We saw a team, maybe from NA, maybe it was the other day, that was using neon over towards C. The stuns were really good there.
At least one here. And then Rhyme happens to be looking
so I'd only previously kind of seen it more over towards A. I think there's some,
should be doing, don't get me wrong. It's not
cool stuff you can do.
But it's good to see it consistently there. The Giants are looking and thinking, where are our gaps right now? Every couple seconds.
Yeah, I think it might have been. Actually, I think you're right. It was.
Open? Oh, there could be someone behind. He turns, he looks, he gets the kill.
I want to see Barber's face right now.
Yeah,
the foot looked very good on this one.
Too much of that. You know, I wonder why. I imagine his mouth's got to be moving.
Yeah, double timeout is like the worst possible start for them.
Their attack side needs to finish out with 3. Honestly, like.
Every map so far, we've seen a team use a double timeout in one half. It's actually pretty rare.
It just looks like they're
I say pretty rare, it's really rare to see that.
Every single play. Now, I do think
it's rare to see just 2 timeouts in one half anyway, let alone 3 maps in a row. Hong Kong's supposed to be the better team. These teams are 50-50, straight up. At least in my books. I haven't, again, people like Lewis kind of have a little bit more insight because, again, they practice against them a lot. But in terms of what we've seen, it's hard to...
That's not a guy that's really going like, oh,
it's hard, at least for me, it feels hard to pick one of these teams as saying they're a lot better.
Yeah. You know, the Giants are barely dying as individuals.
Obviously, this helps. Like, maybe after we see this, it should be a little bit easier, but there's still 2 maps.
This is a great start, though. Giants haven't played this light on C side of the map in a long, long time. I would almost say at all.
Yeah, Giants had some brutal games. I mean, I say brutal games. They played the best 2 in EMEA. This is a good round. Overwhelm's great. TP out. Vitinho gets out of here. We have to see a retake of C there. Retake over towards A has been looking good. Oh no!
He's gonna drop him through the smoke. He just went on a timing of seeing a pixel of one of the players.
Killjoy's holding behind. They don't get a comfortable plant.
So they can use this to get all the information.
So they actually have double molly here to go for the normal plant, and they do not feel comfortable to go for it. So the mollies are now kind of useless.
Like a turret, it's gonna be that Thrash going through. This should be a freebie.
Oh well, that's
Starzo down, Showstopper in on a response, but he gets blinded on the way back in, and now he's out as well. They make the retake look incredibly easy.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see retake look good.
No matter how many oh
god, Gecko util looked right there. For some of that, at least the dizzy.
I really start to believe this is just an
the dizzy and the fish.
You know, you fire off the Showstopper, and he gets blinded up. Just perfect timing every single step
They're too good in this map.
And I can believe it's unlucky.
They look too drilled on this map. This was nice though. This ult made it a lot easier. That kill made it a lot easier.
You gotta give the credit to Cloud. Like that's the thing.
I like how they faced with the fish as well, right? Because you know that everyone's gonna heavily try and shoot the fish because you have to. The fact that they faced with it is nice as well. It's a very strong ult. Can Koi double their rounds? Their money's not great. You've got some Guardians out, light armor. not full util for some people. Smoke goes in.
I love it, Cloud. I love you. You know that?
The ping as well, just to make sure that they get the angle for it.
Of course he did.
Of course he did. And look, they're not going A. You're damn right they're not going A. It's time to look elsewhere.
Can we please get a zoom-in replay of Cloud's face while he was spraying that Odin? That's all I want.
He's popped in a snake bite to try and take the Sova out of his drone. Like, it's just disgusting. And now here comes the Viper's Pit.
Look, where's he going?
Okay, this is all for Shados.
Where is he going?
Right.
That's so disrespectful.
That's crazy. You're crazy. You got 10 HP, you have a Viper all up.
Okay, I am just significantly better than you, so I'm going to put down a Viper and let me peek out and take a kill.
Disrespectful.
I got down to 10 HP, and
that is disrespectful going for that.
I think that's strategic because they double rotated really quickly. I think they wanted him to die, so they rush in and then get blitzed by the guys.
So I think the Gecko ult will get a change, maybe, but we kind of need to see how the rest of the util is. We need to see more play, but it's insanely strong. I agree.
A blind stops any punish to come off the back of the ultimate, and in fact, Koi are able to return.
But if it gets shut down pretty heavy and like only combos with stuff, then it might not. But I definitely agree with you. It's a disgusting ult. Oh no. 1v3 brings it down to 1-on-2. 1-on-1.
And now it's just one. He's low HP though.
Oh god.
This should be Coldamentus round. The last
oh my god.
11 rounds.
And he's doing the pocket thing as well. Why is everyone clutching and putting everyone in their pocket?
This is where Chloe finally gets another round. And that answer is always a strong no from Giants.
Oh my goodness.
They're dead. They're dead. It's done. You can't come back.
Damn, he celebrated before he defused him. That's sick. What an insane half.
Down to low HP. That was a 1v3.
Had a Hunter's Fury as well, by the way.
Oh god.
This is a nice clutch. How has he done that?
Post-plan Hunter's Fury is a round win. Most 9 times out of 10 you take that fight, it's a round win. But
look at Cloud's face. Look at Cloud's face. He's just having a good day. Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. He's doing the yumpy as well. He was watching the last game. Point at the logo on the trousers. We love it. 11-1. Well, Tom, you know, Giants...
Holy hell, what was this half?
We had the discussion on the desk about how they might innovate. They might, but we don't know what to expect from it. You know?
Clutch.
Sometimes it is better to stick with your comfort. It's better to stick with what you know. But I think it's fair to say, whatever Giants have been cooking, it's smelling pretty good right now.
What did you come back to?
Right.
Yeah, it's been.
I do think that's the thing.
I mean, Giants look good. Like this feels a lot more like Giants. Sorry, yeah, Giants looking really good.
Has been just really interesting.
Sorry, I just spotted something. You described this man as a supportive player.
There hasn't been
he's actually, the first couple of rounds, he's actually playing really supportive with
too much to get angry off. I definitely think they're making some mistakes.
He's just also not dying.
I definitely think
that's the other thing.
Calm.
It's like he's in the late round every time because he's throwing out all of that utility. But yeah, they had a load of set plays to basically shut down A control every time it was attempted. There was something in their way. Some rounds it was
it's not like the K-Corp game, right, where you feel like you can't take much from it. Like there's actually been okay stuff.
Round that they did through B, it was like they were consistently rotating where every single player was, and then it got to the point, I'd say maybe 6 or 7 rounds in, when UK just decided to
Raze plays. The Boombot was a huge nerf for Raze.
For multiple rounds as well.
Huge.
Then it came down to retakes, and I think in terms of how
it is actually a giant now.
You've seen 2 polar opposites. One to get them a free kill and a retake, the other to take complete map control and allow them to gamble.
Like Raze since the beginning of this game has just been butchered.
I'll be honest, they have walked into every single trap. It'd be like me putting down 10 Cypher trips in a row and them just actively walking into each one after another. Like
it was an odd decision, but I get it because of...
I'm sure they're going to watch this back with just frustration. Like, okay, we saw them go aggressive here, we tried to adapt here, they then did that. Like it was like a perfect...
Yeah, I really think it was just because of Gecko. They didn't want people to be like, why is an initiator not got a thing that lasts as long as the Boombot? Like they didn't want that. Oh, I love this. this. Every time I see this, I always comment on it. We always see it in pistol rounds, but we never really see it on any further. TSM use it a lot. Someone else used it on their pistol. It's so nice to just create pressure like you're sneaking like this, especially if you can kill this alarm bot. Constant timings, and then everyone has to be super scared of everywhere, right? So it's really nice. I'm such a big fan of this wall.
There's even a little alarm bot waiting for them on the way through.
Yeah, wall up.
Make him vulnerable. Got good space.
Don't even need to wall up.
Wingman's not doing it. They're not doing it, actually. They're making it all the way in towards the spawn. Wrapping around. Those steps are heard, though. Good information already read in here by Koi. They know what they're up against. They've got the players on C side to deter, and that actually forces them back again.
Oh, they go all the way back?
Wolfen's now in position.
Wait, where do we go here? There's still a Viper that's waiting for this. Oh my god, they open door and then the Viper walks through the smoke? Oh man, they owned them. They owned them. Nice pistol.
2 versus 4.
Waited for the cue of the door. Faked this, went back. Damn, this was a really good pistol. I'm a big fan of teams are doing this sometimes, right? Where you leave someone over towards here, and you go into B, and then you hear the door and you just swing on them. It's really cool.
We're going for that rotation back. And then
mate, what are these numbers that I'm writing? We had a 12 earlier, we got an 11 now.
I'm just in spot ready and watching for them to try and come back in. Yeah, it's done. It is done.
Is crazy. Like, it's been a while since I've seen a team as in control. Because this isn't like the case.
How did EMEA go from so close to games like this? Prep. Right? You're starting to see what teams can do once they have demos to look at. Fast week, super week, just madness. Just no one has any demos ready to go off, and if you do, you probably got a day in between, so you can't prep too much. Now, you give everyone like 5 days in between it. They got demos they can prep off in terms of maps, seeing how much teams are changing up.
Hold them back. Wolfen completely blind. He's forced to just rotate off with the rest of the team, and this is a free afterplant. Nobody even anywhere near the site to stop them.
Fatino playing the bodyguard to Wingman, make sure the spike gets planted.
It makes a huge difference. Right, it's what NRG always talk about as well. NRG always say like we're a much better team once we can look at the actual demos and have a game plan and work out what they want to do.
Might actually have a chance in this round. The Stingers, a big disadvantage in a lot of these fights. They gotta use them, and they gotta use them now, running through some utility if they want to end the round. And you can just hear that spike ticking away, the time really not allowing them to wait any longer. Finally, Trex will go through that orb, lose most of his HP.
Shaders is trying his best. Damn, okay. Really impressive from Giants. Really impressive. Very dominant. I liked so many of their rounds.
And it may still be as we move on to Ascent, Koi's map pick, but wow, we need to see a different face from this team.
I was fine with the Super Week being fast week. It gave us some good games, to be honest with you. I think EMEA is behind in terms of the Sky match at a 71% pick rate. It's preference. I'm not saying like it's not like it's super overpowered that it's a must win. Like it's a must pick. But I think it's great at the moment in the current meta. I do agree with you. I think some teams will benefit from using it.
That other game, and I don't know. I've kind of had enough of it at this point.
Yeah. Top down. It's not quite as exciting, you know. They use bow and arrows, we use guns.
So far, the losers of the day have got 8 rounds in total. That's crazy. 3 maps in. That's a crazy start. What the hell?